welcome to my channel Zen Within Me. Okay, today's reading is going to be a love reading for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and this is your love reading for July 2021 or whenever you come across this reading. It is still a timeless reading, and as you know, everything is about divine timing. So without further ado, my darlings, let's get into it. Guides, guardians, ancestors, angels, and ancient gods, please give me clear and concise messages for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising regarding their love life. What does Aries need to know regarding their love life? Please tell me Aries' love story. What does Aries need to know? Okay, Aries, so some of you are dealing with an Aquarius. Some of you also may have been fighting with someone. And I'm seeing if you are fighting with someone, I'm seeing that there's healing here. There's hope for the future, okay? And some of you, it might be an Aquarius that you're dealing with. Okay, so let's see. Any other messages for Aries? Okay, thank you. Oh, nice. Okay. All right, so you might be fighting on and off with this person. So you fight with this person. Okay, so this message is for those of you that are in a relationship. Okay, so you're with this person. You guys fight, you make up. You fight, you make up. It's an annoying circle. Okay, but the love is there, guys. The love is there. There's so many times you want to just kick them in the face and you don't, because the love is there, you know. And I feel for some of you are being a little sneaky here. And I'm not saying that I'm seeing you do anything, like no cheating or anything like that. I'm seeing like you're sneaking off. You're doing something sneaky here, whether it's like talking crap behind their back, you know, because you're angry, you're complaining, you know, which who doesn't do that, right? We're all at some point in our life guilty of it. And if you say you don't, you're a liar. Everybody at some point in their life has gone off and be like, oh my God, this person's driving me crazy. I want to strangle them and this and that. But you love them. So like behind their back, you might be talking crap because you're annoyed with the back and forth, with the constant, you know, fighting, making up, fighting, making up. But at the end of the day, you guys, you know, just, you love each other and you realize that this is your person. Okay, so you may sneak off and do things behind each other's back, you know, maybe somebody is spending money that they shouldn't be spending. Maybe you're saving money, you know, because you're like, oh, well, just in case, you know, this person really pisses me off one day, I'm going to need to have like a nest egg in case I need to, you know, make tracks. So it's like you're both doing your own things behind each other's back just in case the relationship doesn't work out, but neither of you want to go anywhere. Like you're preparing because you're angry at this point. You know, when you guys are in this energy, you're angry and you do this. But this is how you truly feel. Okay? You guys are silly. I love it. It's healthy though. It's healthy. There's no such thing as the perfect relationship. It's healthy. Bottom line is you guys love each other. You're not going anywhere. And then when you're not fighting, you give each other props. Like, oh, I love you. You're so awesome. You do this, you do that. You take care of me. You love me. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is that you do. But then when you piss each other off, it's like, oh, man, man, behind the back. Okay. So what other messages do we have for Aries regarding their love lives? Okay, yeah, we have camera here. You guys are constantly learning from your past mistakes. Okay, and we have perception here as well. So you're learning from past mistakes with one another. And you are trying to see things from the other person's perspective. So, you know, that's what a relationship is. When you're going to make it work long term, it's all about learning each other's habits and minds. And it doesn't happen overnight. That's why they usually say, oh, if you make it past 7 years, you're good. Because it takes about 7 years to get used to someone's crap. It takes about 7 years to learn one another. And then you also have to keep in mind, for those of you that are young in the mind or young period new to relationships, as you get older, you're growing, you're evolving, and you're changing. So you are not going to be the same. Okay, I met my husband at 16 years old. I got married at 19. I am now 44, and we just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. You know how many times I've wanted to strangle that man? And him to me as well. I'm not in denial. It's fine. We get on each other's nerves. But things, blow over after a certain period of time. So now we know what not to say and what not to do to annoy each other. So we're not interested in pushing each other's buttons, because at this point we're like, we just want peace. We just want to love each other and just have a good time. Just be on the same page. The world is chaotic enough. Being together, we don't need to attack each other and add to it. And that takes time to understand and learn when you're going to be in a relationship long term. Okay. So as long as you're not doing anything that's really going to be detrimental to each other, you can make it work. So let's see, what other messages do we have for Aries regarding their love life? What else does Aries need to know? So I'm feeling for some of you, this is either you're a young couple, or this is still fairly new. I say fairly new to me, because if this is a relationship where you're less than 7 years, it's still fairly new. Once you get into the double digits, then that's something else, but anything, like 7 years, it's still fairly new. So this is something you got to learn. You're still in that stage where it's like you piss each other off, you're young, you have a very strong mindset, Now, I'm not saying you have to change who you are for this person or this person for you, because you don't want somebody to be who they're not either. But I'm just saying, sometimes you do have to compromise a little bit. Okay, so this is the only message that we have here from this deck. We have the moon, your unconscious, sensitive inner emotions and responses. Okay, so you have to be sensitive to one another when you're pissing each other off here. Okay, and your inner emotions, and unconsciously you might be speaking before you're thinking. Okay, where it says responses. So some of you are not thinking before you speak, and you're just spewing things out. You can't take it back. You can apologize and say, oh, that's not what I meant, but the other person is always going to remember it, and it's always going to put a damper in some way. All right, so you have to do your best, whoever this is, whether it's you or your person, to think before you speak. And if you feel, because I've been on this end myself as well. If you feel, okay, the blood is rising, I'm getting annoyed, you're pushing my buttons, I'm getting ready to say something just to make you cry because you're pissing me off to that point, that's when you have to go, okay, I realize, I acknowledge, like kind of stand outside yourself. Say, I realize and I acknowledge at this point where this is going, because we've done this before, right? So let me put a sock in it before I say something that I can't take back, that I can apologize for, but I know is still going to be damaging. So let me just say, give me a minute. I need to calm down, be adult and mature, And then if this person is just and they don't stop, then this is when you have to say, okay, do you see what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to be quiet so that we cannot get to this point we've always gotten to. So this is something we need to do together. So I will go over there and zip it. You will go over there and zip it. And then when we both calm down and the blood has gone down to a normal level, we can continue this conversation. Okay, too many people, they just fly off the handle and they run with it. That's where the major problems come in. You shouldn't do that. Okay, you really shouldn't do that. All right, so what other messages do we have? Okay, we got the solar plexus coming through, as well as the third eye. All right, so solar plexus first. So we have here self-esteem, confidence, self-love, self-worth, and pride. So some of you may have self-esteem issues, okay, which might be why you tolerate so much. Your self-esteem is low. You may allow this person to get away with more than they should because, you're not that confident within yourself to say something. Okay, and then for others, we have pride here. You might be too prideful to shut your face. If you are too prideful, shut it, because you're going to hurt yourself in the relationship. Okay. Okay, then we have gut instincts, intuition, knowing, sensing, and trust. Trust your instincts, go with your gut, whatever it may be. Okay, so if you feel here like, oh, maybe they're hiding something, feel free to look into it. Okay, go with your gut. But also, if your gut here tells you, okay, well, maybe this is not the best time for me to bring something up, then zip it, bring it up another time. Okay, the whole point is trying to get out of this circle that you guys are stuck in with the going back and forth. Okay, fighting and making up, fighting and making up. You're both sick of it, and you both know better at this point. Okay, and then we have, like I said, with the third eye chakra, seeing, perspective, truth, knowledge, and clarity. So you guys need to be honest with one another, give each other that clarity, sit down calmly, have a cup of tea, do something bougie, sit down, put your pinky up, have your little tea, and say, come on, darling, let's have a discussion. Be a little goofy with it, because you know what I learned that I personally do all the time, and I'd have to say like 99% of the time it works. If me, now we barely fight, but in the past when we would fight, I'll do something goofy as crap and he'll start laughing. That's it. All of that intensity and anger done like that. Because you can't be mad when you're laughing. You can't be mad when you're smiling. It's just those are the opposites. They don't go together. So you can have somebody fuming and then you do something goofy. That's it. It just all immediately drops. They start laughing and then you can either let it go or continue on a calm level. So there's plenty. I'm a huge goofball. I've just like that in general. So when we would, if I see, because my husband has issues, but he's gotten so much better with them. But we're not talking about that. I'm just giving you guys advice, so I mention it. He's so much like, on a scale of 1 to 10, he's like 80% better. When he used to be like 20% in the toilet, but he's 80% better. I'm so proud of him. He's doing so well. But like there were times that like he would be the one to more fly off the handle for the dumbest stuff. And I'd be like, why really? Okay, like why? But seeing, okay, it's part of his issues, I would have to nurture him and help him with his issues. Like, okay, if I understand it's not us, it's him, what can I do to help him snap out of it? And then that's when I would do something goofy and he would laugh and give me a hug, tell me he loves me, and then it's over with. So sometimes we would continue talking and sometimes it's like it was so dumb to begin with, it's not even worth a conversation. Okay, so you guys have to try your best as you go along in the relationship to just get to that point. It's not always about who's wrong and who's right. It's just about being together and in love and just making things work. I'm not saying be a doormat. I'm not saying eat crap, but I'm just saying, it's about the balance. Okay. And if you guys see it and you're on the same page, then it's easier to move forward. Okay. All right. So let's see. I pulled from that deck, that deck, that deck, that deck. Okay. So I'm not going to use my initial cards because you already know who you're dealing with. I'm not seeing this for, singles. I'm seeing this more for people in a relationship. So let's see, what other messages do we have for you? What advice do we have for you? Ooh, I like this. Okay, so we got, hold on. So we got this seeing and intuition card, right? These two cards that came through here. Now, if you have a yes or no question, ask a yes or no question right now, because this is going to give you your answer. Pause the video if you need to. 1, 2, 3. There's your answer. It says, yes, your intuition is correct. Take action accordingly. So to whatever you asked, there's your answer. And I love how it says, see gut instincts, intuition, seeing, perspective, truth, clarity, knowledge. So you got your answer. Then we have pay attention. Notice repetitious signs and your inner guidance, as this can yield valuable information. Okay, so I feel there's For some of you, more happening here. I'm not going to dive into it because it's a general reading, but if you had a private reading, oh, I would dive in for sure. I don't do extendeds, so I'm just going to leave it here. And if you'd like a private reading, if this, resonated with you, you can go to zenwithme.com and purchase one. All right, so those are your messages. Thank you so much, Aries, for liking, sharing, watching, and subscribing. Everything is down below in the description box if you'd like to buy your reading, spells, merch. The merch shelf is down there. If you want to get some Zen Within Me attire, that would be amazing. Everybody that purchases anything from me, I am an avid donor with my doggies and my veterans. So you give to me and I, gladly accept, and then I donate some of that back. So just, it's a beautiful cycle of good karma. So peace and love, guys. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next reading.